John Ortberg tells the story in his book, Everybody's Normal Till You Get to Know Them. Here's the story. A few years ago, Dave Hagler, who works as an umpire in a recreational softball league, was pulled over for driving too fast in the snow in Boulder, Colorado. He tried to talk the officer out of giving him a ticket by telling him how worried he was about his insurance going up and he's normally a safe driver and so on. The officer said that if he didn't like receiving the ticket, he could take it to court. At the first game in the next softball season, Dave Hagler is umpiring behind the plate, and the first batter up is, can you believe it, the policeman that gave him the ticket. As the officer is about to step into the batter's box, they recognize each other. Long pause. The officer breaks the ice and asks, "So how did the thing go with the ticket in court?" Hagler says, "You better swing at everything." The umpire was now in charge. He was the one that decides the course and the calls of the game, who's safe and who's out, balls and strikes. The umpire is the policeman on the field that makes sure there is order. God has an umpire that many people don't realize. Welcome to the 260 journey. In Colossians 3, there's such an important verse here to discover about God's umpire, which we need every day for order and peace in our personal world. Let me read to you this powerful verse. It's Colossians 3:15. Let the peace of Christ keep you in tune with each other, in step with each other. None of this going off and doing your own thing, and cultivate thankfulness. It's August, and today around the country, our nation's pastime, baseball, is being played on fields all over the United States. In the major leagues, the bigs, the best players of the world come together in 30 stadiums, but it will not go good because of those great players. We'll need 4 men dressed in black jackets to make the game go good. They will look different than any other person on the field, and they are called umpires. No matter how good the players are, how fast the players can pitch, or how far they can hit the ball, and how amazing a defensive player they are, the emotions of the game can cloud their decisions. And they need that group of people on the field called umpires to keep order. So when they give it all they got and try to stretch out a single into a double, and the umpire calls them out at second, or if they work a count to 3 and 2 and they stand there looking at what they think is ball 4 and the man in the black coat calls it a strike, their emotions may be thinking I'm safe or I've just walked. See, the baseball diamond needs a neutral party that saw the situation clearly and makes the correct call. Not the call that the fans want, the players want, but what's the right call. They cannot be impaired by emotion, peer pressure, or even popular opinion. They must be moved by justice and what's the right thing to do. Emotions can cloud all of our decisions. Baseball diamonds don't just need an umpire. We need an umpire for the same reason in our life. We want to do the right thing, but we have so many forces fighting against us. The Apostle Paul tells the Colossian believers that they're being inundated with outside religious opinions and additions to walk very carefully and to keep Christ in focus against all the distractions. But when peer pressure comes and the voices from the outside try to get you to move into chaos, you have an umpire to make the right call. This amazing verse reminds us that we have help to make right decisions, especially when things are getting emotional. Let me read that phrase again out of the New American Standard. Let the peace of God rule in your hearts. It's epic. It's the man in the black jacket. The peace of God is the umpire. Let me show you why. The key word of that verse is rule. Rick Renner has an amazing book called Sparkling Gems from the Greek. It's a word study on the Greek language and the use of certain words in the New Testament. Listen to Renner's words. I especially want you to notice he says the word rule in this verse. It's from the Greek word brabeo, which in ancient times was used to describe the umpire or referee who moderated and judged the athletic competitions that were so popular in the ancient world. He said Paul uses this word to tell us that the peace of God can work like an umpire or referee in our hearts, minds, and emotions. Man, that's so powerful from Rick Renner. He is saying peace is the umpire. It's the guy in the black jacket. Peace must guide us to each place and in each decision. If we have no peace over something, then you're out at first base. Let's get off the field. If there is peace over a decision, the umpire says, stay on the field and continue on. See, peace is the guiding principle for the believer. The umpire that tells us what's right so chaos doesn't ensue in our life. Colossians 3:15 could be even translated or paraphrased like this. Let the peace of God call the shots. Let the peace of God be the umpire in your life and actions. Let the peace of God act as referee in your emotions and your decision making. Ever say this about a decision? I feel funny about this, or something doesn't feel right about going here or taking this job. It means you don't feel peace. Don't overrule the umpire. This is God's mechanism to helping you make good decisions today and to stay on the field. Curtis Hudson said, when the believer is faced with a decision regarding a questionable matter, he should never proceed unless he has complete peace about it. See, a host of emotions comes to us because life throws us so many things at us, and nothing can blur our decision-making like emotions. I think what comes after the peace verse is brilliant. Here's the next verse. This is verse 16. Let the word of Christ have the run of the house. Give it plenty of room in your lives. Instruct and direct one another using common sense. The Apostle Paul was saying the best place to start with wanting to know the right call is the Bible. Listen to this. If you want the peace of Christ, start with the Word of God. You can always bet on a safe from the umpire if the Word of God supports the next steps. Peace is the umpire. The Word of God is the playbook the umpire goes off of. Thanks for joining the 260 Journey.